friends. So, your girl recently went through a breakup. Yes, she did. It was one of those where even before the relationship, I honestly knew that it wasn't right. I just felt it. Well, I guess it's the opposite. I didn't really feel anything, to be honest, the entire relationship. I never really felt in love at all. He really looked great on paper, and he treated me kind of okay sometimes. He was nice-ish, just not really the kind of guy that I would want to be with. But the thing was, he was so different than my last boyfriends that I figured, man, if those other relationships didn't work out, maybe I should just completely change my type. Maybe I should try something completely new. And that's what I did for a good 4.5, 5 months. Yeah. And the whole time I was just kind of bored. Even when we were in the same room together, I would be bored and feel lonely. Sounds healthy, doesn't it? Really, really healthy. Don't get me wrong, we had some fun times. We had some things in common, but we couldn't talk about anything. The depth of conversation was so shallow. Shallow as a shower, if you've heard Curse of Curves. Great song. Throwback to my emo days back in the early 2000s. Anyway, I still listen to it in my car though. You know I do. So yeah, it was just awful. He had some really cool hobbies, but the conversation and it was being with a frat boy that wasn't even a frat boy, all the time. Drinking stories all the time, bro all the time. And the friends, I can get along with back to a shower analogy, I can get along with a friggin' shower curtain. Me and my shower curtain, we hang out, we're friends, good convo, we're cool, it's awesome. Me and his friends, two of them are cool, the rest are bro-y. I can be yo, hey, but otherwise it was just not great. It was really not great, and that's a sign that this probably wasn't the right relationship for me. But instead of breaking up, which we did once and then we got back together, but instead of breaking up, I was too afraid, and I was well, I mean, it's only up from here, right? On paper it looks great. He checks the boxes. He has a job. He has cute. He has muscles. Still lonely. Likes music. Yeah. Still lonely. That was my everyday. Yeah, for real. So finally, I take this trip to Vegas and things are getting weird. I'm very empathic. I can tell things from a mile away. A mile away. And I'm something's off. I don't like this. We had fought the week before, we always did. It takes a lot for me to fight. But if you're stupid and you treat me bad, not bad, but not in the way that I deserve to be treated, as a girlfriend, just don't do that. Treat me well, treat me kindly, communicate with me, all of the responsible adult things that you do in relationships, just do those things. That's fine. But we'd been fighting because he wasn't doing that, because he's again an adult, grown-up, non-frat boy, frat boy. Yeah, I mean, good guy, whatever, just not in the ways that I need. Anyway, so I sense this when I'm in Vegas, living my actual best life. Shout out to my girl in Vegas. Thank you. Super good time. Bless up. But I get home, you guys, after even talking to him on the phone the day before, and I'm something off? And he's no. And I'm something's off, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And he's no, what do you mean? I'm something's going on. Do you even like me anymore? He's yeah, you're cool. I'm something's happening. I'm not dumb. Megan, not a dumb. Weird? Yes. Dumb? Nay. Not a dumb. So anyway, that was Saturday night. And then that was Sunday. That was Saturday night. And then Sunday, football happened, and yeah, he was being kind of distant then, didn't call me that night. We talked for like 5 minutes on the phone because he was tired and drunk because it's football. With the boys, of course. The boys, always. Yeah. Cool. I think it's great to have guy friends, don't get me wrong, but don't be a dick. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? J-Rock. Anyway, so then Monday, I text him in the morning, and I'm like, hey, can't wait to see you, blurdy blur. And he's like, yeah, cool, see you at your house. I'm like, okay. So then I get back to my house, or to the airport by my house, and I'm like, hey, so like, do you want to work out together tonight? And he's like, well, I don't know, I might have to work late, so you can just go without me. I'm like, this is getting weird. This is getting weird. And so he doesn't actually like text me that he's coming over until like 6:30. So he got to my house around 7, and he gets here. And yeah, so he had a bag, an Aldi bag, the cloth ones, one that I got for him because I used to like literally meal prep all of his meals. And yeah, it was full of all of the meal prep packages that I had gotten him. And he had this like big silver pot because we were gonna make beer together sometime. And it was weird. I had had food ready for us. Like I had dinner made and everything the day that I'd gotten back from vacation. And I'm like, hey, and he's like, hey, how are you? I'm like, I'm good. Like, what's going on? And he's like, oh, nothing. I'm like, And then he just like sat on the bar stool that I'm sitting on right now. And he didn't take his shoes off. I'm like, okay, something's off. I'm like, so what's going on? And he's like, nothing. I'm like, Like, so what's up? Something's wrong. He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. And then, yeah, he broke up with me. So that's how that happened. But the punchline here is listen to my lead up. My lead up was I wasn't happy during any of this. None of this relationship really set well with me at all. I knew better, but I wasn't taking my own advice because I was scared. I was sitting in comfort in some ways because honestly at that point I was like, man, like having somebody is kind of nice right now because I want to focus on all of the other parts of my life, like my businesses and like my career and traveling. Like having this person fill this void that I would have if I were single is giving me a lot more time and energy to focus on the things that I really want to focus on. And that's not the right mindset to have either, but that's where I was at. So instead, I just let myself be miserable in my love life. Great, right? So the crazy thing is here, I got broken up with in a situation that I really wanted to end anyway. And I got salty. I got sad. It hurt. It really, really hurt because I felt like even if I didn't care about him, I lost like a friend. And then like, but did I though? Because like we barely even talked, like he barely even texted me. Like that's not what I want in a relationship anyway. So it's like the thing with breakups and rejection in general is it's this giant mind fluff. You know what word I'm actually thinking of, but I'm not gonna say that on the camera. It's a giant mind bender. It makes you ruminate. It makes you go crazy because you're thinking of all of these egotistical things that could be wrong with you, and you're replaying it all in your brain. What did I do? What did I mess up? Why isn't this right? Like why didn't I win? I want to win. That's where ego comes in. It's all ego. It's an ego hit. It's rejection. Breakups are a big shot of rejection, and they're a big old ego hit. Almost everything in dating, when you feel hurt, it's all ego. Promise you. Think about it. If you get ghosted, was it really the guy? Was it really the guy? Was it really that Subway sandwich artist that you're like really missing? Or was it just the ego hit that he ghosted you? Which one was it? You can answer for yourself. I don't know. But I do love sandwiches. That is what I know. So the long story short of it is things ended kind of like tough with him. Like I miss him. Yesterday he actually blocked me on Snapchat, so that was cool. Even though like I don't think like I earned it because we had hung out a couple times, ended up hooking up a couple times, even though we shouldn't have. But that's like life, you know? Nothing's ever clean. Nothing's ever easy. Nothing's ever a simple break. But I wanted to be friends. Like, we can be friendly. And if you want to just cut that stuff off, just tell me. But instead, he was mean about it. And he said he was being nice, but he's not. So I reached out to him after he got back from a trip and was like, hey, when are we hanging out? Like, we said that we weren't going to leave things off the way we did last time. We were going to try to just be completely platonic. And he's like, well, I don't know. Like, the last couple times haven't gone the way that I wanted to. And like, that's not what I want right now. It's like, okay, so what you said a couple weeks ago has changed. That hurts. Cool. So I'm really nothing to you now. That's cool. But in the reality, it's just my ego and me feeling rejected again and allowing myself to be even open to that rejection, which isn't right. So I don't like when people leave me. I don't like rejection. I don't like abandonment. That's me. That's what I work through. That's what I'm trying to work on a lot. I have a lot of abandonment issues from life. Life's hard. That's me. It is what it is. But I want you guys to see that even somebody like me who's so insanely, disgustingly self-aware, I go through this process of thinking through all of the emotions that I'm thinking of, like this mindfulness of like, Megan, you're feeling a certain way. You really probably don't want to feel that way. So let's figure out the path to why you even do feel that way so we can like deconstruct it, because something's wrong here. Like, you're feeling this, but I think that you really mean this, you know? So what it turned out is I was seeking some sort of validation from this person because I attached to him in some way, you know, during our relationship, our friendship, whatever. And I finally opened up to him. I don't open up to that many people. And at the end here, when he's rejecting me, it feels like a major hit, and it really strikes up the primal fears of fight or flight, because that's what attachment theory kind of routes to. So he was my person, and him rejecting me makes me feel like I'm not gonna ever get love again, or I'm not gonna find love, or I'm gonna die, you know, just bad, like all these like horrible things very, very quickly, not good. And that's what happens during that breakup time. It's probably not even that person. That's what we think. We're like, oh, it's this person that I'm missing. I need them back. Without them, I'm gonna die. I don't like this feeling. This feeling sucks. I feel like I'm gonna die. I fucking hate this. Blah, 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 blah. I didn't say the F word. I said fluffing. I did. I said fluffing. But I feel like I'm gonna die. That's what it comes down to. And that's just this fight or flight response. It's natural and it sucks. But when you can kind of like interrupt your own pattern of, wait, hold up, hurts, but it's really not this guy. I'm seeking some sort of love or something from somebody right now. How do I get that met, but not from this person, because it's really not them that I need. It's that feeling. And if we can kind of learn to disrupt that pattern, it'll really help. And we really need to figure out how to have some sort of secure attachment to something, preferably like ourselves or some figure that, you know, we isn't going to leave, and we can kind of learn to self-soothe ourselves during these tough situations. But anyway, if you want to learn more about attachment theory, don't learn it from me. Learn it from the professionals. There's a lot of great books out there. Craig Kenneth is great. You can just YouTube him. They're fantastic. They're actually like licensed in this stuff. I'm not anything in therapy. Please, for the love of God, don't think that I am. That's not me. I do some coaching. That is not therapy at all. This is just my personal story and, you know, me talking about myself. So anyway, that was my breakup story. Really hurt. I hate being rejected. I don't really find myself to be like a people pleaser. I don't care that much what people think of me, but the people that I care about or have cared about in the past, I really do care what they think of me. So this one hurt because I really wanted to be a good person, but I realized that a lot of it was more ego and control. I wanted to have the last word with myself. I wanted to control how things ended. I lost that control because I wasn't the one that broke up or did the breaking up. Yeah, so just remember to think about those things. Like, is it really that person? Or is it your loss of control? Or is it your ego? Or is it some other self-serving underlying issue that you're really trying to placate? Because chances are that's what it is. And when you do the exercise that I would always recommend, I do it myself all the time, after a breakup, please, day one, ground zero, write down all of the things that were wrong in the relationship, that you did not like about that person, about the time that you were together, about, you know, their family situation, their friend situation, their job situation, just the whole situation in general. Make a list, a really long list, as long as you can, because anytime that you start to build this fantasy land of what the relationship was like and romanticize the relationship, because you will, that's what happens. That's another psychology thing that you can dig into. I don't remember what it's called, not my job, but you will start to forget the bad things and only focus on the good things. And honestly, they probably will too. So make that list of all the bad things so you can go back to it and remember how things really were in that relationship and move on. The only thing that is going to help you move on is getting into good things that will help you grow and make your life better after that relationship. And that, my friends, is a whole separate video. So that's my most recent breakup story. And I just want you to understand that it's probably not the person that you're missing. It's your ego and your mind playing tricks on you and telling you that you're not good enough and you are missing the validation that they gave you. You don't need that validation. You really don't. Find that within yourself. You're good enough. You're good enough. You're good enough. And the thing is, you're going to get better because you're going to focus on yourself now that this bad relationship is over with, so that you can, again, go back to being the best version of yourself that you can be in this world, for yourself. It's a very reciprocal thing. It's a beautiful thing. Anyway, my name is Megan Summer. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. I will be making more videos. And if you have a topic or a question that you want me to cover via video, just drop it in the comments and I will consider doing a video on it for you. And yeah, thanks for watching. I will talk to you soon.